Hi, and welcome to this Earth Elements practice and the associated organs and meridian lines of the stomach and the spleen. We're going to start with some really simple, easy movements called prostrations, which really do give us a sense of harmony and balance at the beginning of this practice, which is what this practice is all about. It's about coming to a place of nourishment, of balance, of harmony in the body, working with these two meridians that work very much with the in-breath prana, the breath coming in, the energy, the support from the earth underneath you, and the exhale, apana, the idea of sort of being rooted, being really grounded. And sometimes before starting this practice, I would spend a little bit of time opening up through the feet, just to make sure, because we're going to be quite a lot of balances in this practice. So just to make sure that you have the sort of most open, most flexible feet possible. You're going to need possibly a blanket for your knee, a strap for the end of the practice, and a block might be useful as well. So you're going to come and start and stand at the end of the mat, the foot of the mat, and bring the feet so that they're hip distance apart. And just start by just bringing the hands onto the abdomen, relaxing the shoulders down, maybe shifting the weight forwards and back a few times, and come to a place where you feel stable and grounded. Make that connection to the earth underneath you. Focus on the breath, gently coming in and moving back out. You can even circle the hands on the abdomen. So this idea of sort of making a connection to the center of the body. All the movements are going to come away from the center. So there's a strong feeling of core, strong feeling of foundation, and a feeling of connection to the earth underneath you. So that you finish the class feeling really grounded, really balanced, harmonized, energized, and ready to face the day ahead of you. Release the arms. On an inhale, let the arms float up. As you exhale, bring the palms together, fold and come down to the ground. And just walk it out and lower yourself onto your abdomen and just give the body a stretch and a lengthen. So stretch through the tops of the feet, bringing as much of the body in contact with the ground as possible. And then bring the hands back and take a very gentle back bend. So I'm bringing the hands nice and wide and just pressing into the hands to lift the chest. And then make it all the way back into your child's pose. And just bring the hands either side of the legs. Just linger in that child's pose for a moment. And then come and touch the very top of the head onto the ground, tucking the toes under, and push back over onto the soles of the feet. And making your way up to standing. Exhaling, bring the hands back down. So we're going to go again. We're going to do 5 of these. And if it feels okay for you to practice these with your eyes closed, then do, because that's going to help to bring you nicely inwards. Bringing the body into connection with the earth. Take your little back bend, so just bringing the hands a little bit wider. Moving it back into child's pose. Then coming and resting on 100 meetings point right on the crown of the head. And then pushing back over onto the soles of the feet. And making your way up to standing. Exhale. Inhale. So notice the breath, notice the movement. Notice when you start the inhale. Notice when you start the movement. Notice when you start the exhale. And notice when you move into the next movement. See if you can synchronize, harmonize that natural rhythm of the breath with the movement of the body. And spending as little or as long as you want in each of these poses. If a pose feels particularly good, then for whatever reason, you might want to just linger in that pose for a little bit longer. And these would be great to do at the start of the day when you first wake up. And just putting the body through an extension, little back bend, and then into flexion, a forward fold. Inverting the body for a moment, just that idea of re-energizing and pushing back over onto the soles of the feet and making your way up. Exhale. I'm just going to do one more. You could do as many as felt good. This might be all you do. And when you've finished, just come and stand. I'm going to come and stand to face you. So just come into the center of your mat and just rest the hands on the abdomen. Notice if there's been a change from when you first began. And just slowly start to bring the mind inwards. So interlace the fingers, breathing in. Push the palms up towards the heaven above you. Linger, pause. And as you exhale, release, bring the arms back down by the side of you. Good, interlace the fingers, inhale. So as you move the hands, imagine that you're moving the hands through this slightly sticky air, which slows you down. It takes a little bit longer to move. This is called intention. You're moving the body in a particular way. And it's one of the things I like to work with at this time of year. And it just sort of harmonizes and slows the movement down. And then bring the hands towards each other, one hand facing down, one hand facing up, as if you're sort of holding a little ball of energy around the area of the abdomen. And then you're going to send the bottom hand up, top hand down, which is going to get you a little bit of length through the side of the waist. As you breathe in, you turn the hands towards each other and you bring the hands together as if they're sort of capturing or holding a little ball of energy. Pause, and then the hands part. So this sort of symbolizes the connection between the heaven above us and the earth beneath us. The in-breath, the prana coming in, and the exhale, the apana, the downwards foundation. Good, and we can start to sort of work with the legs a little bit with this. So as we lower the hand down, we can bend that leg. So we're shifting the weight onto the other leg. Breathing in, bring the weight into that foot, shift the weight over as you exhale. So do the little bit of effort on the exhale. And as we do this, we might get a little bit braver and start to think about lifting that leg up. So we're working with the psoas muscle here to sort of draw the leg in towards the center line. Good, breathing in and exhale. Again, lots of balances in this practice because we're really trying to find a sense of harmony and balance. And some days balance can be better than other days. So don't get caught up, don't get frustrated by that. Good. And then next time you inhale, just sink the hips and bring the arms up to sort of about chest height. And then lower as you straighten the legs, bring the arms back down. As you inhale, you're sinking, so you're just flexing knees, hips, ankles. And then as you exhale, pushing the ground away as you come back to upright. Do this once more, inhale. So these movements are so good for a nice, healthy range of movement through your joints. Bring the arms up, this time rolling up through the soles of the feet into a balance. See how that balance feels. And exhale, rolling back down. Do that again. Inhale, let the arms help you up. And then this time as you exhale, come down, bring the hands to the hips. Again, hinge at the hips as you fold and bring the hands down the legs into your first forward fold. So just nice and easy. Just notice the body. Again, breathing in and out slowly. And then slowly inhale as you come up. Interlace the fingers. push the palms away. Breathe in here. Take a side bend as you exhale, leaning over to the side. Breathing in. So try to keep the hips still and move the shoulder away from the hip to get that stretch through the side of the body. Good. Bring the hands down to the hips, open through the front body. Exhale as you fold, coming down. Again, maybe resting the hands on the legs or bringing the fingertips down towards the earth. Just move the head gently from side to side. Maybe stretch the jaw, open the mouth. And then inhaling as you slowly rise up again. Interlace the fingers, push the palms away. Breathe in. Repeat that side stretch. Maybe gets a little bit stronger. Remember, we're not striving. We're just moving the body nice and easily through this slightly denser air, which means we have to slow our limbs down a little bit as we come into these shapes. Maybe linking thumbs into elbow creases, take a little sway from side to side. See how the back of the waist feels. And then release the arms and inhale as you come on up. Just bring the arms up. Bring the palms together and bring the hands down through the center line. So step it wider, come into a horse stance. So in horse stance, we allow the feet to turn out slightly, but not so much that they're wider than their knees. So as you sink into horse stance, the thighs go in the same direction as the feet. So this might mean that your horse stance isn't quite as deep as mine, okay? So again, we're going to bring the hands together, straighten the legs. As you exhale, separate the hands as you sink down into your horse stance, or goddess pose it's called sometimes. Breathing in, prana, breath coming in, energy supporting you, lifting you up. As you exhale, this downwards movement of energy. Okay, inhale, rising up. And exhale, send the palms away. One more, inhale. And exhale. Good, you're going to turn to the top of your mat. Take your back foot out a little bit so you come into warrior one. Back foot's going to allow you to point that foot forwards so the feet are on separate tracks. And I put a block down here ready. Okay, as you inhale, you're going to let the arms float up. And as you bend into that front leg, and as you exhale, lower the arms as you straighten the leg. Breathing in, move into the shape of the pose. And exhale as you lower. Move into warrior one and then just stay there for a moment. And you're trying to find a little bit of space around the area of the spine. Good, breathing in. Relax the shoulders. Good, next exhale, you're going to bring the hands to the hips and you're going to fold to this halfway point. You're going to breathe in here. And as you exhale, draw that front leg so that it's long and bring the hands down to the block. So if the hands don't reach the block easily, then keep the hands on the hips, okay? You can always turn your block so it's higher. You can always stack a couple of blocks, one on top of the other, okay? And just move the head, breathe gently. Feel that stability between the front foot and the back foot. Releasing into that forward fold, calming and quietening the mind. Good, stilling the thoughts. Good, inhale as you rise up, bring the hands to the hips, bend into the front leg, just come halfway, pause. Next, inhale, lift all the way up, nice foundation. And as you exhale, bring the hands down. We're going to step through with this leg and we're going to use the hands to help this idea of lift, support, push the palms into a little imaginary wall that's in front of us. And then either stay here or a little bit stronger, turn in towards that bent leg side. And again, as if I've got my hands on a little supporting wall there to help me. Good. Come back, face the top of your mat. Step it back. Come back into warrior just for a moment. And then bring the hands back and turn back to the long edge of your mat. And I'm just going to take the block over to the back of my mat to do the other side. Breathing in, bring the hands together, horse stance, exhale. Push the hands apart as I sink straight down, inhale. Exhale. So there's something called sthira and sukha that we work with in yoga. Sthira is the effort. but without rigidity. And sukha is the ease, so it's the flexibility, but without instability. So we want to be strong, but we want to be stable. Okay, turn to the back of your mat. Bring the block on the inside of the front foot, back toes point forwards. So it's really comfortable for your hips. Inhale, let the arms float up, center that knee, root down through the sole of the foot. Exhale, release the arms down. And inhale as you move into that pose. Good. Relax the shoulders, take the gaze to a point in front of you. Try to find the ease and harmony in that shape. Good. On the next exhale, lower the hands to the hips. Breathe in. Exhale, fold halfway. Pause, breathe in. Next exhale, draw the leg long. Bring the hands down to the ground or the block. Feel the stretch through the back of the leg. Releasing any effort, any trying. Good. Trying to soften wherever there's tightness. And then bend into that front leg. Inhale, lift part way up. Pause. Next inhale, come all the way through. And then step through for that balance. So that movement up, that prana, that in-breath. Push the palms into that little imaginary wall. Watch the effort and ease. So balance that sthira and sukha. So you need a little bit of effort, but we want that without any rigidity. And we need ease, but we want that without instability. Turn to face the back of your mat and step that foot back and come back into your wide leg forward fold. So feet now are parallel with the short edges of the mat. Root a little bit into the outer edges of the feet. Bring the hands under the shoulders, center the hips, and just allow the crown of the head to come down. Good. Relax the shoulders, breathing in and out slowly. Good. Notice the stillness at the end of the inhale and at the end of the exhale. Good. Press into the hands, lift up, heel toe the feet in a little bit. Turn to the top of your mat, hands frame that foot as you step it back. You could take plank for a moment or lower the knees, shoulders over wrists. Good. Lower the knees to the ground, come all the way down onto the belly and just stretch it out, lengthen it out through the tops of the feet. And then on the next in-breath, slide the hands back as you draw the armpits back to come into a back bend. And then release, slide the hands away. Inhale as you slide the hands back. And then exhale. So make sure this is skillful, so you're not moving into any tension in your back. And then lower. And then we're going to do the same with the feet. So we're going to lift the legs as you breathe in. And then lower. And again, inhale, lifting the legs from the center of the body. And then lower. So not going to lift very high. And then once more, inhale. And then release. Good. Bring the hands back either side of the chest. Push back slowly into your child's pose. Inhale as you come to all fours. Arch or round your spine. As you inhale, tilt the pelvis towards the floor. Lift the gaze gently. And as you exhale, arch and round. So just hydrating that spine, just finding a little bit of movement there. And then coming into down dog. So I'm going to walk forwards a little bit here so I've got a bit more space. So making sure in down dog that you really think about rolling out the upper arms, drawing the shoulder blades into the back body to be really secure either side of the spine, tuck the toes under, and as you exhale, send it back. Bend the knees, make it all about long spine. And as you breathe in, send to the shoulders and lower the knees back down to the ground. Do a couple of these. Exhaling, send it back. So just keeping the knees bent. Inhale, center and lower. One more, exhale. Doesn't matter where the heels are. And then just walk the hands back to the feet to come into Uttanasana, your forward fold. And then inhale as you rise up. Bring the arms up. Exhale, bring the hands back down. So we're going to do this warrior walk. It's a sort of walking, balancing meditation. And we're really rolling through the feet as we do this. So you're going to shift the weight into one foot. Let me go to the back of the mat. And then you're going to place the heel down. And you're going to place the base of the baby toe down and then the base of the big toe. And you spread the toes around that. Shift the weight over into that foot. And then lift the back foot, place it down, heel, base of the baby toe, base of the big toe. Shift the weight over, roll through the foot as you lift it up before you place it down. And you're just trying to make that connection to the feet and to those 3 points in the feet. And when you get to the top, just bring the hands and rest them on the abdomen. And just focus on moving inwards. That sort of feeling that everything's going to be all right. Have that sense of trust and inner confidence. And then step it wide again, come into our horse stance. So feet slightly turn out. You're going to hold on to like a soap bubble that's in front of you. So you're not going to pop this bubble. So you need to keep the hands exactly the same distance apart. We're going to move this bubble from side to side. And as we do that, we're going to come onto the opposite ball of the foot. And the rotation comes through the torso. So just watch the knee of the direction that you're moving in. Make sure you're not bending that, you're not twisting through that knee. So we're coming onto the opposite ball of the foot as you find the rotation. So if I move to the left, coming onto the right ball of the foot as I find that twist. Breathing in, back into the squat in the middle, and as you exhale, find the rotation the other way. Good, breathing in, and then exhale. Good, inhale, and exhale. We'll do one more to the back. And then come and face the top of your mat, coming into that warrior one pose again. So the feet are on separate tracks. Bring the block in if you used it before. And then bend into that front leg and let the arms float up. The shoulders are nice and relaxed. You could pretend you're holding on to that soap bubble again so you get that sense of relaxed shoulders. Breathe in here. As you exhale, fold and bring the hands to the hips. And then inhale, come back up. Exhale, fold. And inhale. Exhale, fold. Stay here, breathe in. Next exhale, lengthen through that front leg and bring the hands down if you can easily touch the ground or the block. And rest the fingers. Trying to keep the body as close to that leg as you comfortably can. Connect to the breath, slowly in, slowly back out. Good. Take another breath. And then inhale as you lift up, but don't come all the way up yet. Bend into the front leg. Tip the weight into that front foot as you walk the hands forward to make like a little tripod. And then you're going to lift the other leg high. So you're tipping yourself upside down. And this is a surefire way to sort of change how you feel. You can really shift your emotions, stir things up a little bit, bring a little bit of fresh blood to the brain. And then soften the standing leg and quietly bring that foot back down. You can come into crescent lunge or you can repeat warrior and just wriggle the foot back a little bit if you're going into crescent lunge before you lift up. So center yourself over that base. And I'm just on the ball of the back foot. This is the in-breath. And then I exhale as I dip straight down. The front knee stays over the ankle. So literally the front knee opens and closes and the back knee opens and closes. Good. And you just lift up and then you lower down. In breath, the upwards movement, exhale, the downwards movement. You can rest your hands on your hips or you could use the hands to help with the movement of the breath. Linger a little bit at the bottom as you breathe. Come on up, take it into a crescent lunge. You can extend the arms overhead, get that lovely stretch through the front of that thigh as you breathe. And bring the hands down. We're going to step through again with this foot. And we're going to lift it, so working with that psoas muscle again. You can stay here, you could always come to a wall, have a wall in front of you, or you can hold the ankle and point the knee down to get that stretch. So we haven't pointed out the meridians, but the stomach meridian comes down the outside of the thigh, the spleen runs up the inside of the thigh. These are the two meridians that we're working with. So this is a Macaho stretch for stomach and spleen. Balancing, but it's nice to tip it into dancers. So I just soften the standing leg a little bit and tip forwards, extend that arm away, index finger and thumb can touch, Yana Mudra, and then push the ankle into the hand to create the bow. Good. As I breathe slowly in. And with the balances, we just persevere, we just keep trying them. Good. And then release, see if you can bring it back. Release the leg and lift. Step it back briefly into crescent. And then turn to the long edge of your mat, bringing the block over again to the other end. Hold on to your soap bubble. Inhale. As you exhale, you take it for a little ride, a little journey, little twist. Inhale. Bring it back through. Exhale. Remember, you're only pivoting on the opposite ball of the foot. You're not twisting through your knees. Knees only open and close. Good. Take this to the back of the mat once more, to the front of the mat once more. And then we'll turn to the back into warrior one. So bring the block in again on the inside of the foot. Sink into that front leg as you inhale, let the arms float up. Relax the shoulders, center the knee, feel spacious. As you exhale, fold. Inhale as you float up. So this is really good for the stomach, sort of a little bit of pressure into the abdominal area. Good, one more. Exhale, fold. Pause here, breathe in. As you exhale, draw that leg so it's long and release the hands down to the ground or the block. If you need to keep the hands on the hips, if that's more your practice, then stay with that. So very gently softening wherever there's tension, finding a little bit of stillness in this forward fold. Nice foundation, nice connection to the earth underneath you. Good. Bend into the front leg, walk it forwards, take it into your standing splits, so just the fingertips. Crown of the head comes down as the other leg lifts up. You really draw up through the inner ankle, inner shin. That's your spleen rising energy up through the inner leg. And down the outside of the leg is the sort of grounding energy of stomach. Soften the standing leg, bring that foot to the floor. If you're not taking crescent lunge, come into warrior one. If not, wriggle the foot back as you lift up into crescent. Arms can go up. You're just on the ball of the back foot, feet are hip distance. Bring the hands down. You can either work with the hands or hands to hips. Exhale as you lower. Breathing in as you lift. Exhale as you lower. And inhale as you lift. Work with the breathing. Not going too quick. We're still moving through this air that's a little bit denser, thicker or stickier than regular air, and it just slows you down. Hold the pose. Find that stretch through the front of the body. Step it up for our balance again. So either staying here, catching the ankle, you could come to a wall, have a wall in front of you, or send the arm up. You could stay here, where it's just a lovely stretch for stomach and spleen in the front of the body, or you can hinge it forward into dancer's pose, Natarajanasana. Maybe join Yana Mudra as you send the ankle into the hand to create the bow as you breathe. Good. One more breath. Release. Inhale, bring the leg through. And it doesn't have to be perfect, remember, just let that go. Take the feet wide, come into a wide leg forward fold. Feet are parallel with the short edges of the mat as you come down. And we'll take a little rotation here. So you can use a block underneath you or hand to the ground. Let's take right hand down. Left arm either comes up to the hip and you turn, or you send the arm all the way up to the sky. And exhale, switch hands. Inhale, push the floor away as you find that rotation. And exhale as you lower. We'll do one more either side, slowly moving through
that slightly sticky air. Last one, inhale. And exhale, come into your forward fold, hands under shoulders, sit bones move up. Feel rooted, grounded through the outer edges of the feet. And then lift. Heel toe the feet in a little bit. Pivot so that you can turn to the top of your mat. Hands frame that foot. Step it back. You can lower the knees or take a little plank. Core, strong core, navel to spine. Uddiyana Bandha. Mula Bandha. Pelvic floor lifts. Good. Lower the knees to the ground. Come all the way down onto the abdomen. Bring the arms behind the back. Interlace the fingers. Stretch the arms away. Lift the hands away from the hips to get the back bend, that feeling of opening through the front of the body, and then lower as you exhale. Inhale as you lift and exhale. Take one more of these. Inhale and then release. Exhale. Bring the hands back around. Push back into your child's pose, where you can always rest or come to all fours, hands directly under shoulders, arch the spine. Rounded cat. Maybe again moving through your cat-cow series of poses, or tucking the toes under, rolling the upper outer arms out. Shoulder blades draw in as you move back into down dog. Spread through the fingers. Make sure your hands are equal distance from the top of the mat, shoulder distance apart, and pedal the heels to the floor, one heel at a time. Don't worry about the legs bending. Worry more about finding that space through the spine, through the back. Good. Then walk the hands back to the feet to come into Uttanasana, and then unfurl, inhaling as you come all the way up. And exhale, bring the hands back down. So we're getting a little bit stronger with this. So just be a little bit careful with what's behind you. Inhale, bring the arms up. Bring the leg up. As you exhale, send the legs through behind you and let the arms move through as well. So I'm sort of tipping forwards. Breathing in, lifting. Place the foot down, heel, base of the baby toe, base of the big toe. Shift the weight across. Inhale, drawing up, inner ankle, inner shin, inner thigh. Send it through. Sometimes depends on the surface that you're balancing on. A carpet like I'm on is a little bit more wibbly wobbly, a little softer, more cushioning. There's quite good training as well. Good, bring the leg through. Take another one of these, inhale. So nice and smooth, easy. Inhale. And then place the foot down and just bring the hands onto the abdomen. Close the eyes for a moment. Feel centered. Feel a sense of balance, harmony, support from the ground underneath you. Feel secure, a sense that everything is going to be okay in the world. And then step it back again. Come back into your horse stance. So feet slightly turn out. So remember being careful of the knees, making sure that the pose that you're in is suitable, that it's not too strong. We're going to take this into a side bend. Inhale as you lift. You're going to windmill the arms to the other side. Take a side bend the other way. Just opening up through the side body. Lovely. Spleen comes up here and it comes underneath the arm here. So it's a really nice spleen stretch. Another one, exhale. And then inhale. So point the feet forwards first. Back heel slips away, toes turn in. Front foot points towards the top of your mat. So coming into warrior two. So adjust the feet, make sure it's comfortable, particularly this knee centering and particularly comfortable for this hip, which means the back foot needs to adjust depending on you. Arms are at shoulder height. Drop the back hand, lift the front hand. Peaceful warrior, reverse warrior. Inhale, transition into side angle. Parshvakonasana. Good, inhale. So notice how I'm just moving in the synchronicity with my breath, the rhythm of my breath. And when I stop the inhale or stop the exhale, I can keep moving. I'm just pausing and waiting for the body to catch up. So I'm not hurriedly moving the arms. So on the next one, we're going to bring both arms through. A little bit tricky, you're going to turn and hop onto the ball of the back foot to come into that crescent lunge.
And then just bring the hands into the center of the chest. And we're going to shift the weight into that front foot, remembering to keep a little bend at the knee as we hinge forward into the standing balance, warrior 3, standing T, Virabhadrasana 3. Good, and again, drawing that energy up from the ground and rooting down on the exhale. Soften the legs, step back, take it back into the crescent lunge for a moment, and then turn to the long edge of your mat, come into horse, and this time arms overhead as you take a little side bend. So we're trying to find that flexibility, but with stability. So nice, stable, strong foundation, strong base. Good. Inhale, turn to the back of your mat, warrior 2 the other direction. So make sure the feet are wide enough, bend into that front leg, arms at shoulder height. Good, make sure the back foot, the toes are turned in a little bit. Tip it back, peaceful warrior. Notice how my legs, the base stays still, that doesn't change. But all the movement, the flexibility is coming through the torso. Move with your own breath, synchronize the movements with your own breath. Inhale from that strong, stable foundation. Good. On the next one, we're going to take it into our crescent lunge. So both arms come forwards. I just pivot, hop onto the ball of the back foot. Find that stability, that opening. Wonderful stomach and spleen stretch here all the way through the front of the abdomen. Bring the hands down to the center, hop it forwards, draw up through the standing leg, but keep a slight bend at the knee. The rooting down at the same time. That balance of effort and ease, trying to keep the hips nice and level. Good. See if we can stay here for another breath. Maybe one more. Then soften the standing leg and release the foot to the floor. Just take crescent just to get that stretch through the front of the body, and then turn to the long edge of your mat. Take the feet a little bit wider, come into your wide leg forward folds. Inhale as you lift, so the feet are parallel with the short edges of the mat. Walk the hands over to your left leg, but keep the base still. Find a little rotation, a little squeeze. Exhale, hand over hand to the other side. Breathing in as you turn. Good, do this once more to either side. And then we'll come back into the center and retry that forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. Hands under the shoulders, crown of the head's coming down, sit bones are moving up. Find that stretch, that length, but without force. As soon as you start pushing or bouncing or forcing the body's going to say no, it's going to tighten up. So we need to find that harmony between the effort and the ease of the pose. Good. Inhale, press into the hands to lift, heel toe the feet in a little bit. Turn to the top of your mat, hands either side. Step it back, shoulders over wrists. Good. Lower the knees, come all the way down onto the abdomen. So half bow. So if half bow is not accessible, then just bend your right leg. Palms can press into the floor. And as you inhale, pressing the hands down, you see if you can lift that foot up towards the ceiling or the sky. If you can reach the ankle, make a little hook. Send the opposite arm forwards. As you inhale, you draw the left armpit back as the right ankle pushes into the hand to get the lift. And then you lower. Breathing in as you get the lift. And then exhale as you lower. One more inhale. And then release. Good. Release the leg. Just give the hips a little shuggle in the middle before we do the other side. So remember, you can bring the arms by the side of you and have that stability, or take the opposite arm to leg out in front. As you inhale, you push the ankle into the hand to get the lift. But I'm also drawing this opposite armpit back and then lowering. Inhale as you lift. And exhale as you lower. Good, one more. Inhale. And then release. Good, release the leg. Give the hips a little shimmy. Push it back gently into either your arched cat or child's pose. Just notice any sensations that come up. Come to all fours around your cat.
Come to neutral. If you're taking a down dog, roll those upper arms out. Draw the shoulder blades into the back body. Feel secure around the spine. Starting to bring the heels towards the ground. Gaze is back, thighs are back, heels are back. Lots of space in the body. As you breathe, feel that connection to the earth. Feel that strength, groundedness. Good, harmony. Walk the hands back to the feet. Come back into your forward fold. Inhale as you come up. Exhale, bring the hands down. Good. So our balancing, walking, warrior walk gets a little bit stronger. So arms can go up, leg can go up. And you can keep the arms in front of you as you tip forwards into that standing T. And I have to be careful of TV behind. And breathe in, bring the leg through, and then place the foot down. Roll through those 3 points again. Inhale, left, exhale, folds, hinging. Keeping a little softness through the standing leg knee so that it's not hyperextending. You're going to get better movement of energy through the knee if it's slightly bent. Good, breathing in. See if we can fit one more in at the top. And then come back. Good. So we're going to come into a forward fold here. I'm going to step back with my right leg, wriggle it back, bring a block in on the inside of that foot. First of all, just lift up, and I'm also going to bring in a blanket for my back knee. So I'm a bit of a comfort freak. I like to have things nice and comfy when I'm practicing. So same hand as bent leg comes to hip, other arm's going to go up. And in the sort of centered position, we're then going to take it over into a side bend. So if I was to do this straight onto you, you can see how I'm leaning over into that side stretch. Okay, and this just gets this lovely latissimus dorsi stretch, which is a linked muscle to our spleen. So it's just a really nice stretch, and you really feel it into the intercostal spaces as well. Good. And then release, come down into the center, blocks there if you need it. Turn away, so hand to block, turn away from the bent leg. Outward rotation, lower the hand down, turn into the bent leg, inwards rotation. Good, bring the hand down to the thigh as you lift up. Push the palms into an imaginary wall that's in front of you. The same as we did at the beginning, turn in towards that bent leg. So I'm just going to swivel around so you can see what's happening on the other side. So I'm turning, bring the palms together, and then the opposite elbow to front leg comes down to the, just on the outside, and then I separate the elbows as much as I can. You can stay here, and if this is too strong, just release and have the other hand on the hip. Or you can lift that back knee as you move into the rotation. So revolve side angle or a variation of it. Good, but make sure that it's a skillful pose for you and it's not too strong, it's not too intense, you're not too deep. Make sure you can breathe. If you can't breathe in the pose is too strong. Good, lower the knee, release the arms and come down into the forward fold. Okay, and in this forward fold, we're then going to draw back into a hurdler stretch. Come forwards into your lunge. And when you come forwards into your lunge, come forward, 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 right onto the very top of the knees. I'm not on the kneecap, I'm on a little bit above the kneecap. And then draw back. Hamstring stretch through the back of this other leg, come forwards. And then this time I've come forwards, I'm still keeping this front knee over the ankle, but I'm right on the very fleshy bit of the top of the knee. And reach back and see if you can catch the ankle. If you can't, you can maybe catch the trouser leg. And if you really can't, you stay here, just pointing the foot, working on that stretch. If you can catch the ankle, see if you can lift up. Find that stability in the middle, maybe let go. Index finger and thumb, Jnana Mudra. Steady and center that front knee over the ankle. Maybe lifting the gaze. Good, wonderful stomach and spleen stretch in that quad of the back leg, down the outside of the leg, stomach, up the inside of the thigh, spleen. Good, release. Step that leg through, hands under shoulders, either just knee to nose here, or you could take it into a dancing warrior, single leg warrior, down dog's pose, sorry, and then bring knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. Just deciding if you want something a little bit more energetic or something a little bit gentler. Good. Then lower the knees to the ground. I'm just going to take the blanket out of the way. Roll onto the belly. So you could repeat any of the back bends that we've done, or you could have a little go for full bow. So bend both legs, make the hooks, reach back for one ankle, then reach back for the other ankle. If you can't reach, take one of the other variations that we've worked on, half bow or just reaching back for the hands. And then pressing the ankles into the hands, you get the lift of the front of the body. Keep the knees drawing in, maybe even a rock on the abdomen. You don't have to lift too far. I'm not lifting very far off the ground, but I'm getting the effect of the stretch through the front of the body, which is really opening up into the 2 meridian lines. Okay, release. You could go again. And then release. You could go again, or you could push back into your child's pose. And again, it's a strong back bend, so just notice the body before you move. And then come to all fours. If you want to take a quick down dog, take that. And then lower the knees. Bring the blanket in for that left knee, step through with the right leg. Again, bringing the block in on the inside of that foot. Lifting up, find the shape so the knee stays centered. Same hand as front leg comes to the hip, other arm goes up. You lean in, find that stretch from the hip to the spine to the arm, latissimus dorsi. Really feels good around the area of the chest and the lungs. Inhale as you come down, bring the hands down, turn away from the bent leg as you breathe in. Exhale, lower. You're turning through your spine, your rib cage. Good. Bring the hand down to the thigh as you lift up. Imagine you're just pushing the hands into a wall. Turn in towards your bent leg. Then bring the palms together, opposite elbow to outer thigh. Okay. You can, I'm just going to bring the foot back a little bit. You can open the arms if that is too intense to have the hands together. Or in this rotated shape, back toes can tuck under and you can lift, drawing the center of the chest around. Elbows are as far away from each other as possible. And you can even look over that top shoulder. Back leg is nice and strong, so the knee isn't bending. Kids, see if you can take another breath here. Nice and smooth and easy. Good, lower the back knee. Release the hands to slide out of the pose. Come down, draw back into your hurdler stretch. Come forward, right onto the very, very top of the knees, the little flat bit just above the knee, and you can just point the toes up. Draw back again, hurdler stretch. Come forwards. Reaching back maybe for the ankle. If you don't quite make it, just point the toes up. Maybe lifting if you feel quite happy there. Maybe letting go. Remember, any of the stages are good. Don't strive for the stage that may be just a little bit out of grasp at the moment. Okay, keep practicing and all is coming. It will come. The shapes will come. Good, be patient. Lower down. Step that leg through, open and close. You could take it into a dancing down dog. Open and close, or you can stay kneeling. Good, lower the knees to the ground. Just push the blanket out of the way. Take a couple of breaths in child's pose. Just rest. Notice the body after the practice. Notice how it feels. Become aware of the rhythm of the breathing as you synchronize, harmonize, feel nourished by your practice. Good. Make your way up to seated. Bring the legs around. Let's take a little Baddha Konasana first. The soles of the feet together. I'm just going to walk the hips in a little bit closer to the heels. Sit nice and tall and long and relax through the spine, and just encouraging a little stretch into the inner thighs. Good. Let's take a little stretch here. So bring one hand behind, other hand can go up.
Keep the sit bones down, switch sides, breathing in and open. Good, come back. Hold on to the big toes with the thumbs on the nail. And this time, breathing in, feel centered. And as you exhale, see if you can lift one of your heels away from the ground. It doesn't have to come very far, okay? Breathing in, as you exhale, see if you can lift the other one. And if you're feeling a little bit braver, you might be able to open that leg out a little bit longer. Sitting tall, breathing in and open to the other side. Then this time, maybe see if two legs can lift. As you open the legs out to the side, sit tall as you breathe. And we're going to come down into a forward fold. So I'm going to bring one heel down and then bring the other heel down. And you can let go, bring the hands to the ground, or you can bring the hands behind you. So I'm going to move back a little bit so you can see a bit better. So if you're quite upright, I'd bring the hands behind and you encourage the movement forwards. My feet are nice and centered. If I needed to bring something under my knees, I would. If you can bring the hands in front of you, let them come forwards. And remember, it doesn't matter how far or deep you go in these poses. It's can you be content? Can you be happy with where you are, with where you've got to? That's all we're after. That's all we're looking for. I'm going to take this into a little bit of a stride stretch. So I'm just going to lean towards that left leg. Maybe reach for the foot, the big toe, or just rest the hand wherever it comes to. Get that rotation. There's a couple of really nice bow points in the side body that are getting a nice stretch in this. So one for the spleen, just on the bottom of the rib cage, and one for the stomach right in the center of the sort of between the sternum and the abdomen. So it gets a nice stretch, and those bow points are really good ins to the organs. They're a really good way to recharge them or reboot them. Good. Feel rooted, feel grounded. And the stomach meridian is to do with our nourishment in our bodies, nourishment of our food as well as our thinking. And it provides us with energy. And then roll back into the middle, and the spleen is the organ associated with your immunity. Take it to the other side. Again, be comfortable with where you've got to. Hand can stay on hip or arm can come over. Really opening into the spleen point that's about here in the side of the ribs. Get that opening, that side stretch. The spleen, really good for motivation, really good for mojo, the get up and go. Really good for our immunity. Good for our thinking, our intelligence. Having good thoughts, clear thoughts. And then inhale as you lift up. Fold into the forward fold just for a moment. And then walk it back. Bring the hands behind you, lean back. And then get hold of your legs, back of the legs, and bring the knees in. And just give them a little hug. Swivel around. And we're just going to do a little bit of rolling. So if you have a hair bobble, it's a good idea to take it out for this because of the pressure on your neck. Make sure you don't turn your head at all when you're rolling. So if you're not sure, just watch me. And we're going to come back and take a very, very low shoulder stance. I'm just catching my hips. And then as I inhale, I'm going to come back up. I'm just going to bring the feet to the floor and flop into a forward fold. And if you're not happy going up onto your shoulders because of any pressure in your neck, just rest on your back and lift your legs. That's sufficient, okay, to get that idea of an inversion. So if you haven't started, start. If you're not happy to do these, then just come down onto your back and rest for a moment. And just catching your hips. You don't need to lift the feet very high, making sure you keep the body very centered. And it's best with rolling that you don't actually put any padding underneath the shoulders because it's difficult to get it in the right position. Get lower and come forwards. Just get that nice rhythmic movement. And on this next one, I'm just going to linger a little bit in the inversion. So remember, if you're not happy, just rest on your back and point the feet towards the ceiling. And I'm just going to walk the hands down the back a little bit. See if I can lift the legs just a little bit higher. Breathing. Making sure the head is centered, not turning my head to look to either side.
A little bit of effort, but not bringing in any rigidity. Finding that ease in the pose. Getting that lovely Venus return of blood to the heart. So very restful for the heart. Really good for refreshing, rebooting the mind. Bend the legs, bring them down. Slowly lower the bum to the floor and let the body come back up to seated. Slide the fingertips underneath the bum as you come back onto the forearms. Open through the front of the body, just another little back bend here. And then release, lower yourself down. Make sure you can grab your strap, so have your strap nearby, okay? And bring the knees into the belly and have a little rock from side to side. So we're gonna take happy baby, so I'm holding the backs of the legs as I rock. And we're gonna keep hold of the left leg and then bring the right foot to the floor. So either just keep hold of the left leg and extend the right leg along the ground. If that's too much, then just keep this right leg bent. If you have the flexibility, hold the left leg with the right hand and bring that left arm on the inside. I'm just going to hold the top of the foot and reach around for the outer edge of the foot and draw that thigh down towards the rib cage. Either you keep this other leg bent or you can extend the leg away. So a wonderful stretch into psoas. Good. And also working on the mobility through that hip as well. Breathing. So remember, if this is too intense, here is fine. This is sufficient. Okay, so take a few breaths, relaxing and releasing the shoulders down. Calming, nourishing practice, remember. So if you're moving too deeply, it then becomes depleting and not nourishing. Good. Extend this leg if it's not already. Bend the lifted leg and bring the sole of the foot to the thigh. Draw the leg across into a rotation. So here we've got a choice. We can either just stay in the rotation or the straight leg, you can kick it back towards the opposite hip and see if you can catch the sort of side of the foot. So this is called cat pulling its tail. Okay, and I'm just resting my other hand just on the knee, just beneath the knee. There's a nice point on the side of the foot near the big toe, which is spleen 3, which is really nice for mental clarity, calming the thinking. And there's a nice point here just beneath the knee, which is really good for energy on the stomach meridian, stomach 36. Good. And if you can't catch the foot, the bottom leg is just straight. Okay. And then release the bottom leg foot, come back onto your back, single leg raises. You're going to take that leg towards the ceiling. So this is where the strap can come in useful. If you haven't got a strap, just hold the back of the leg. If you can reach the big toe, hook it with the first 2 fingers and hold the nail with the thumb. You can bend the other leg if you need to. If you have a strap, take the strap around the ball of the foot, wrap the strap once around the hands. Either the other leg is straight or bent, depending on the flexibility that you have. As soon as you bend that other leg, it's going to make it a lot easier. But I am trying to get a little bit of stretch through the back of the leg here, okay, through the hamstrings as I breathe. Relaxing the shoulders down, releasing the effort from the pose. Good, take another breath. Then take the strap into that left hand, wrap it around once. Lift up the right leg and just hold the sort of top of the shin just beneath the knee. And I'm bringing the knee out a little bit to the side. Whole of the left leg then turns out slightly in the hip socket. And then I'm going to bring that leg out to the sides. Okay, to open. Breathing. And I'm trying to keep, by keeping this leg to help with ballast, I'm trying to keep the pelvis in a sort of centered, neutral position. So I'm not rolling off to that side. I'm trying to stay on my back. Okay, and I'm not trying to bring this foot to the floor as I open it. I just want to feel the stretch through the adductors on the inner leg. Good, and really good to work into spleen. There's 2 other meridians, the kidney and the liver on the inside of the leg that will be getting a good stretch too. And then bend the leg slightly to bring it back into the center. Place this other foot to the floor. Switch the strap into the other hand and draw the leg across the center line. And I just pinch it in the knee in the other direction, like a scissor action, okay? And this just gives you a really nice stretch into the outside of the leg, which is good for the stomach meridian, which comes down, but also gallbladder is there as well, particularly into the buttock. And then inhale, bring the leg back to center. Just do a last little single leg raiser and then unhook it. And it's quite nice to bring that leg to the ground and then stretch the other leg out and just notice the sides. Notice the difference, the same. Notice what it feels like. We hold a lot of issues around our hips. And then bend the legs, happy baby. Just briefly. Have a little rock, be quite playful, joyful. Bring that left foot to the floor while you decide what you're doing with this right leg, either just holding it like this, or you can hold it with your right hand, left hand, sorry, as you bring the right arm on the inside, hold the top of the foot, see if you can draw it down a little bit closer. Other leg can stay bent or you can slide it away along the ground. So it's like a lunge, but upside down as you breathe. Nice and slowly. Remember, this is fine to be here. Don't strive. The practice is nourishing, harmonizing, balancing, equalizing. Good. Then release the leg to the ground as you bring this right foot down to the thigh and you draw it across with the opposite hand into that twist. So remember, the leg doesn't have to go too far to feel the rotation. The straight leg either stays straight or you kick it back to see if you can catch it with the opposite hand. And the sort of bottom hip has to sort of tuck under a little bit to make this a really good shape. Bottom leg can stay straight if you can't reach the foot. And I'm just holding this point here on the edge of the foot at the base of the big toe. This is spleen 3. Good for the mind, good for clarity, clear thinking. And then I'm trying to catch just beneath the knee of the other leg, which is stomach 36. Find that rotation. So shoulders remaining down. Notice the lovely movement through the torso. Gaze can just be up towards the ceiling. Take another breath here. Release the bottom foot. Come on onto your back. Send that leg towards the ceiling. Either just hold the back of the thigh, hook the big toe, or take the strap around the ball of the foot. Wrap the strap around the hands once. This is too intense, bend the other leg. Shoulders remain down. Breathe through the back of the leg to get that stretch. Good. Hold the shape, but make sure you're breathing. Make sure you're finding that steadiness of the breath. You're not forcing or pushing the body into the shape. You're just asking it nicely, gently to find a little bit of openness. Good. Take the strap into that right hand, wrap it around. Bend the left leg, hold the knee, the shin, and I'm bringing the knee a little bit wider than the hip. Whole of the leg turns out slightly in the hip socket. And then I open it out to the side. And you could be holding the big toe, that's fine. I'm trying to keep the pelvis nice and neutral, not letting the body roll over to the side, because then I wouldn't actually be stretching anything. So remember, origin and insertion of a muscle, your origin stays still and the insertion moves away. So I'm trying to move the lower leg away from my hip to stretch into those adductor muscles, even through the inner knee. Good. Breathing. Not forcing the stretch. Good. And then bend the knee slightly to bring it in. Drop that other foot to the floor. Take the strap into the other hand. Draw it across the body. Scissor in the other knee a little bit. Feel the stretch here. This is a big gallbladder stretch down the outside of the leg. But also here on the thigh is stomach. Good. Bladder is right on the back. So quite deep. And then inhale back to center. Take a little final stretch up, undo.
And bring the knees into the body, have a little rock. Come for Shavasana, so put on any socks, cover with any blankets. Just extend and rest and bring the arms out by the side of you. So there is a prone position relaxation. So if you don't find being on your back terribly comfortable, people with a little bit of back problems find it difficult, then roll onto your belly. And this can be a lot nicer. And it's really nice for the earth practice. And you just slide one leg up a little bit, bend the same arm as leg, and you rest your cheek on the side of the hand. And the other arm just rests on the ground by the side of your palm face up. So some people don't like being on their front in prone, and some people don't like being on their back. So you have a choice. And just find that connection to the earth underneath you as we come to relaxation. So I'm going to come to sit, but you stay in your relaxation, maybe covering yourself up with your blankets. So making sure that the position that you're in is comfortable and a place that you can stay for time. Any little adjustments that you need to make them now so that you can stay here for a little bit longer. Good. So it's worth investing that time to find a place that is doable. Close your eyes and tune in to the sounds percolating into the room from outside. So there might be sounds from outside. Here at the moment it's raining. I can hear the sounds, the noise of the rain just on the window. So any sounds that you hear, just be aware of them. Don't start a conversation about those sounds. Don't start thinking about what those sounds mean to you. Just observe them and notice them. Be aware of them. And then maybe bring your focus and your attention a little bit closer in to maybe the sounds within the room. You might have music playing. You might have a pet in your room breathing. Your breathing, the sound of your breath. So just be aware of the sounds that you hear a little bit closer by. And again, without any judgment, without any criticism, just observe, just notice. And then bring your awareness to your own body and the contact or the connection that you have to the earth that's underneath you. Is there any way in which you can let go a little bit more and sink towards the ground a little bit more? Can you make more of a connection to the earth? How does that feel? Are there any areas in the body where you feel you're holding a little bit more tension or sensation? Are you able to send your mind to that area and ask it to release? Just be aware. Bring your awareness to your breath, the movement of the breath as you breathe in and as you breathe back out. Notice how the body changes shape, the shape shift as you breathe. The slight expansion of the abdomen, the rib cage area, the chest. And as you exhale, they gently fall. If you're on your belly, you'll really notice the pressure against the ground. If you're on your back, you'll feel this sort of sense of space and opening through the front of the body. Just be aware of how that feels. And then the awareness of the breath itself coming in through the nose as you inhale. Maybe the air's a little bit cooler, the temperature's dropped here now. As you exhale, the warmth of the air as it leaves, so the body warms the air as it moves out of the body. Are you able to keep in that present moment, keep the focus on either the sounds that you're hearing, the sensations in the body, maybe openness, tension, the connection that you have between the body and the ground, and the breath. Always come back to the breath, the movement of the breath, the steadiness. Some breath is smoother, some breath is choppier, longer, shorter. The coolness, the warmth of the air as it passes in and out of the nose. And just repeat to yourself, I am completely relaxed. I am completely relaxed. I feel nourished by my practice. I am confident and capable. My thoughts are calm and my mind is focused. I'm centered and I feel satisfied with my life. So feel nourished by your practice. Feel confident and capable. And feel that your thoughts are calm and your mind is focused. And feel centered and satisfied with your life. Just take a couple more moments to breathe in and out those qualities. Feeling that connection to the earth underneath you and the heaven above you. Feel nourished, feel centered, feel calm, feel balanced, feel confident and capable. And then very gently just wriggle fingers, toes. If you're on your belly, it's quite nice to stretch out that bent leg. Bring the arms by the side of you or rest the forehead on the back of the hands. If you're on your back, have a stretch. Bring the knees into the abdomen. Have a little rock from side to side. If you're in prone on your belly, push back to child's pose. And then from either position, slowly, carefully make your way to a seated position that feels really comfortable for you to end your practice. Feel that the spine is lengthening and spacious and the head is relaxed and floating up towards the ceiling. Let the eyes close for a moment. Again, just focus inwards. Breathe in something positive, a positive affirmation for yourself. On the next in-breath, let the arms float up until the palms meet. Bring the thumbs to the crown of the head, to the third eye, the space between the eyebrows, and then the heart center. Om Shanti, Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me and sharing this earth practice. Hopefully see you again soon.